Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining us again today. Amanda's with me again, and actually that's the focus of the video this time. Amanda's new channel is ready, and as you saw in the title, she's finally decided on her new channel, and I'm going to basically just let her tell her story, what she's going to be talking about, what the name is.
Yeah, so my channel is going to be called Amanda Finds Freedom. I was going to be Ask Amanda Anything. Some of you guys sort of saw like the soft opening of that little welcome video. I realized that Ask Amanda Anything was more like a series that I wanted to do versus something that would really describe the whole channel and everything that I might be touching on. Also, I'm new, so I can't realistically expect to have a question for every video that I make. But definitely send me any questions that you guys have. You can find me on Instagram. I can add an email address in the description below. So if you ever have any questions, the number one purpose of my channel is to just have open conversations. So any questions that you have or anything that you just want to share or that you'd like to know more about, even if I don't have the answer, I will go digging for the answer because that's something that I enjoy.
And she's done it. That's basically what she's done with her Crohn's and with her skin. So she's good at researching this stuff.
Yeah, so those will be topics. Obviously, things that I've already experienced will be topics that we'll be touching on for sure. Things like Crohn's, healing Crohn's, recovering from Crohn's, managing Crohn's, all of those things. Different aspects of digestion and acne, even hormones and women's health, but also there are elements of my life. I'm not just a one-sided person who is literally vegan and there's nothing else to her. So,
no, definitely.
So I hope to incorporate some of those other topics in the future. Perhaps, I mean, health as it pertains to entrepreneurship is something that I find really interesting.
She could definitely help people with time management. She's got to, like, I'm actually getting a little bit more organized since I've been living with her. She's really good with time management, and that's key, especially, I think it probably is even more key when you're your own boss, when you're an entrepreneur and you're doing it on your own and nobody's making you do certain things. I think maybe it's even more important.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be enough discipline in that scenario to actually do what you need to do. But the other aspect of it, and I do think that there's a lot of discipline in what people are experiencing right now, even if you're not an entrepreneur or anything like that, there's a lot more people working from home right now. And working from home just has, honestly, in my opinion, the same distractions as an office, because I see a lot of people who have conversations in an office where I'm not having those. But it's perhaps as busy as an office, but the types of distractions are different, and so I think that that's something to adjust to. But more than all of that, if you're working for yourself, all of your time is yours, and at that point you don't want to be at your computer more than you really have to. So being efficient it's right. Very motivating to be efficient with yourself, because if you can spend fewer hours in the day doing what you consider work and more of that time doing, whether it's passion projects, which I totally consider this to be for myself, or time spent with family or exercising or with friends, going for a walk in the park, doing all of those things, then I think that that's a pretty big win. So that is an example of how I look at freedom. I think that there's so many different types of freedom, and I know that it's also a really interesting subject, especially right now. I know that there's a lot of things going on in the world that I want to be sensitive to and also continue learning with. But I do think in addition to all of that, there are things like a sense of location freedom, you know, in terms of where you can live, or time freedom in terms of how much of the day is your own schedule, or if somebody else is dictating that schedule, or freedom from judgment, even judgment of yourself. How do you talk to yourself in your head, and what does that sound like? There's many different types of freedom, financial freedom, that we can explore. And I think that ultimately building up as much of that variety of freedom as possible enables us to really go after what we find fulfilling, which is really at the core of what we're here to do in life. So that's sort of where the channel's name comes from. It's just me seeking more ways to live a life that is free and allows me to do fulfilling things and to do things that help others. Because if I'm not coming from a stable, sustainable place, it's really hard for me to help others. So I feel that the more people that can be in that kind of a place, the better. The better that the world will be. The more open and honest we are with each other, the better
Right.
the world will be. So those are sort of an overview of my goals, but I am very health focused, at least at this point in my life, and that's going to be the majority of my topics.
Well, if your bookshelf is any indication, her bookshelf is quite eclectic. So I'd imagine you'll probably throw a little spirituality in there from time to time and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I find those topics really interesting. I am no guru. I'm not like super peaceful, like Zen. I can be. I like those topics because I have had to address things like that for myself, especially stress management, and
Right.
again, as it relates to health, and then things like, and I don't know if it's gotten worse as an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for 8 years now. My first business is 8 years old. There really isn't a day that goes by where my entire to-do list is actually done. That just doesn't exist. There's always something else for me to be doing. And in that sense, I also don't understand how people get bored, because there's always something
Right.
else for me to be doing. And so I can just prioritize based on that list on any given day, which thing is the most impactful for me to be doing at that moment. But because of that, there is a degree of, trying to go to sleep at night and knowing that that list isn't actually done, and having a very type A personality that likes to feel like things are done and checking things off of a list. So going into more stress management, meditation, yoga, just journaling, and more self-soothing, self-nurturing, spiritual practices, feeling connected with nature, all of those things have been helpful in sort of improving that element, which improves all areas of my life.
Right.
Because again, if I'm better slept, I am in better health, I'm more focused at work. If I'm more focused at work, then I have to spend less time at work, which means I have more time to spend with loved ones, and all of those things, more time to volunteer, do something to give back. So they all sort of feed into each other. So really, we could pick any point to
Right,
start in the whole
right.
circle, but the easiest one for me is just health.
Oh, and you've got, that'll keep you busy for a while, because there's plenty for you to talk about. I'm sure you'll, like Amanda, we've already talked about this. A lot of the things we've talked about on this channel, even though they were fairly long videos for my channel, like she's going to go in depth a lot more with the Crohn's and a lot more with the skin issues and stuff. In fact, maybe those will be some of the ones that end up being series and playlists and things like that. Yeah.
Those will definitely be series, because there's just no way to fit into one video
Right.
all of the possibilities that can impact that type of a thing. It also is a little situational. The things that I would talk about sort of depend on my situation or someone's situation. If a question is coming
Right.
from someone, the angle that I would take, or like if there were a health question, the first response would be, okay, well, already, like, where are you at right now? What are you eating right now? Kind of a thing. So
Right.
that sort of information could change for someone transitioning, like if you're from a perspective of a standard American diet, or transitioning from vegan to raw, or just trying to incorporate more green juice, or whatever the goal is or the topic is. I think that there are different elements of that conversation that become maybe more important than others. So yeah.
Cool. Well, that sounds real good. Guys, by the time this video comes out, it's probably going to come out in the few days of doing this. There will be a description to her channel in the link below, so be sure and go follow her over there, and start commenting, ask her some questions, because she's looking, she'll be looking like everybody that starts a new channel. You're kind of, okay, once you start the channel, you're actually like, okay, now what do I talk about? Even though you have plenty of subjects. So, like I say, go over, make comments on her channel, and ask her questions, and let her know what you would like to see in the future.
Yeah, I want to talk about things that are actually helpful. And so far, you guys, all of Jack's wonderful friends, are the people who I have interacted with basically in any capacity on YouTube. So the kinds of questions that you guys have, or the kinds of struggles that you're having, or or even the successes, any of that you feel like sharing and talking more about or asking about, all of those things I think are the most relevant to you. So I just want to know how I can help.
And also be sure and go follow her on Instagram too, because as she's kind of figuring out the YouTube thing, she's definitely not going to post as much on YouTube, and definitely not in the beginning, but she posts every day. She posts every day on Instagram, and she does stories on Instagram. So in the meantime, go find her on Instagram too. She is Amanda Finds Freedom on Instagram, as well as her channel name. So yeah, go find her over there until she starts getting more videos coming out. But those are coming. Like, she's been just spitting ideas for videos out the last week or so, and yeah, it's going to be fun to see how your channel develops and comes along.
Thank you.
I'm excited too.
I'm really excited. This is something I've wanted to do for 5 years, and this was just the right timing and the right opportunity, and
right.
So I'm very excited to start.
Cool. All right, well, thanks, Amanda. Guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Maybe share this so we can get the word out there about Amanda. And as soon as you see this video, as soon as you cut away from this video, just go and click subscribe on hers, and she'll be over there. But you still have to come do a little bit of time over here, at least once a week, once every couple of weeks or something.
I'm happy to. It's definitely more fun shooting with someone than by yourself. I've already figured that much out.
And they love you, so that'll work for both of us.
Yeah, thank you, all of you guys who have been commenting, and I've already connected with some of you who have already sent me questions. Some of you over on Instagram have sent me questions, or some in the comments on YouTube, and I just have really, really enjoyed connecting over things where people have similar experiences or questions around things that I have already experienced and maybe they're newer to. It's just felt really nice. So thank you guys so much.
Okay, thanks guys. That's it for the day, and I'll see you in a couple of days. Peace.